How is it going, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. For those of you that are new here, my name is Ethan Bridge and I'm host of the Social Media Marketing School podcast and the guy behind the Instagram page at The Marketing Ethan. Now, last June, I decided that, right, now is the time to start building my personal brand. Before, I had never really thought about it. I was running a podcast called CEO Journals, whereby I was speaking to all these incredible entrepreneurs who had quite substantial personal brands, and it got to the point where I suddenly realized I don't have one for myself. I'm talking to all these people, taking in all this advice, yet for some reason I haven't really acted upon it and started building my own personal brand for a niche that I wanted to be well known for. And it was that in a combination with the fact that, yes, we were 3 months into a lockdown here in the UK. A lot of people had lost their jobs, yet it struck me one thing that never can be taken away from us, no matter the world's climate, is a personal brand. If you build a personal brand, if you build a name for yourself within a certain industry, that is never ever going to be taken away. Of course, unless you make a mistake yourself that tarnishes your reputation. But that personal brand status, no matter a pandemic, no matter a loss of a platform, no matter anything, will always stick with you. And that's when I suddenly realized, right, now is the time that I'm actually going to build my personal brand. And that's why in today's episode of Social Media Marketing School, I wanted to discuss why, if you haven't already, you should start building a personal brand. So I'm going to go over 3 reasons today why I believe that you should build a personal brand. And I'm going to start straight away by saying number 1, and it closely relates to what I've mentioned in the intro, it can never be taken away from you. It's going to stick with you throughout your career, no matter your career change, no matter a job change, no matter a platform change, no matter a pandemic or not. A personal brand cannot be taken away from you because it's yours. You own it. Yes, platforms may go. For example, my personal brand at the moment, my largest following is on Instagram. But I'm not putting all my eggs in one basket because I know for a fact that if Instagram was to vanish tomorrow, where else would people be able to find me? That's why I've got a podcast. That's why I'm trying to build an audience on YouTube. That's why I'm sort of dispersing that following right now, trying to find how can I take it elsewhere so that I don't have as much of a dependence on Instagram. Because to be honest, that platform could vanish tomorrow. We don't control it. We essentially rent a space on that platform. We rent a space from Instagram. If Instagram were to vanish tomorrow, which wouldn't be you or I's decision, it would be someone within Instagram, we would have no control over it. And if it got deleted, we would lose everything we've built on it. And if you don't believe something like that can happen, look what happened with the platform Vine. Those that were clever enough to diversify their following, such as your likes of Logan Paul, your David Dobrik's, those creators, yes, they did extremely well thereafter. But there were a lot of creators on that platform that had all their eggs in that Vine basket. They didn't think about diversifying their audience just in case something happened. And a lot of them lost their careers because of it, because they had that dependency on that one platform. So by having this podcast, by having YouTube, I'm trying to diversify that following. But this brand I'm building for myself within the social media marketing space, this is my reputation. This is what I'm now known for. People are coming to me for social media marketing advice, social media marketing help, because of the expertise and authority I've built within this niche through the content I create on Instagram, the podcast, the YouTube, all these different avenues I'm going down. And because now I've built this reputation and authority throughout these platforms, that's going to stick with me now. And I can take that wherever. So that is what you need to be thinking about when you build a personal brand. If you haven't got one already, yet you are incredibly good at a certain topic, at a certain expertise, and you have had that authority for a while, yet you haven't got a personal brand, start creating some content on it. Become known in a wider community in case you lose a job, in case something happens out of your control, because that can never, ever be stripped from you. And when you build that authority within the social space, people will always come to you, and that is only forever going to grow as long as you create content. So think about that. Your personal brand can never ever be stripped away from you. It's your reputation at the end of the day. Reason number 2, and this is going to be more of a comparison between a business and a personal brand. At the moment, if you are running a company, that is strictly a brand for that company. You are not personally associated with that in any way. Whereas if you are a personal brand, this ties into the original point that I made. This is directly associated with you, and you are building up your trust and authority. If you build a business brand and you then decide to detach yourself from that business, you no longer have anything associated with yourself because everything you were building was associated with that business. Yet if you were to build your personal brand, leverage that personal brand to build that business, even if you then begin to detach yourself from that business, you've still built the reputation yourself for that authority, for that niche. Now, moving into a different point here, personal brands, in my opinion, are much more trustworthy than a business brand. Why? Because you are associating yourself with a face, with a person, with an individual. And this is why influencer marketing is so incredibly popular at the moment. Why do you think brands pay people millions upon millions of dollars to promote their products? Because they know that these individuals have an incredible influence over the audiences they've created. People connect with people. So if you are able to build a personal brand, you have built an incredible amount of trust with the audience that follows you. And because they now look up to you as an influential individual, pretty much anything you tell them, they're going to take your word for it. So that influence that you build can be leveraged, and brands understand that. They know the power of influencer marketing. They know the leverage that these creators have over their audience. And it's all down to the fact that a personal brand is very personal. People look at it and they trust you because they associate themselves with you. It's crazy. Look at some of your favorite YouTubers, for an example. You have, in reality, no idea who they are. You've never met them before. They've never met you before. They definitely don't know who you are. Now, specifically the vloggers, they show their lives on a daily basis. You get the inside scoop to everything they're doing. You feel as if they're a part of your life. You feel as if you are pretty much friends with them, but they don't know who you are. So you pretty much know everything about them. And you feel that you've got that incredible relationship with them, when in reality, they're just someone you follow on the internet. But because this person has shown you the behind the scenes, you pretty much built this friendship with you that isn't really a friendship, but feels like one. They've now built that influence over you. That can then be leveraged, and that's why influencer marketing is so incredibly powerful and valuable. And that is why personal brands can be leveraged in such a way. So if you are building a business, try and build a personal brand that goes hand in hand, because the personal brand can be leveraged in such an effective way that can be really useful to help grow that business alongside. So to round up the point, personal brands are incredibly trustworthy. The influence you can build through a personal brand is phenomenal. So if you're sort of throwing up between building a brand for your business or a brand for your personal brand, I would think more long term. I think about, right, am I going to eventually detach myself from this business? Possibly, maybe not. You don't know. But one thing you know for a fact you're never going to detach yourself from is yourself. Your personal brand will be something that you build pretty much until the day you die, until you want to stop leveraging that personal brand. So I would personally focus on that personal brand over the business brand, but then use that personal brand to leverage an audience that can help grow your business. So I'd create content that builds up your authority within the niche that your business is within, so that you build that trust, leverage that audience, and grow that business. And this flows nicely in to the final point I want to mention, in the fact that building a personal brand can bring remarkable opportunities. the connections you build, the job opportunities that may arise, anything along those lines, a personal brand can do that. For example, let's say that you have lost your job. You worked in marketing, but you've got nothing to show for that other than the fact that you've got the experience on the CV of what you've done for the brand that you've just been let loose from or decided to depart from. But if you've got a personal brand that you've been building alongside and been showing your marketing expertise, not necessarily leveraging them, if you do lose that job, you have this piece of real estate right here that can be used to show other brands that you then potentially apply for jobs, just how good you are at what you do. It's a case study, essentially. You've been able to market yourself to a significant standard, and therefore anybody that you may go for a social media marketing job is going to be able to look at you and your content and your personal brand and go, right, this person's done it firsthand. Therefore, they're going to be far more experienced than someone that's got no experience in building a personal brand or no experience on social media, but may have a degree in marketing. Because a degree doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to be amazing at social media marketing if you haven't got any experience in it at that point. So if you haven't got a degree in social media marketing, but you've built a personal brand whereby you've managed to amass 20,000 followers, in my opinion, if I were to be hiring someone, I would look at that and go, right, this person is far more qualified. They've been able to build their own personal brand on social media to 20,000 followers. I'd see that as more valuable than someone that's got a degree in marketing, personally. Not everyone will agree with that, and that's fine. Obviously, I completely understand the benefit of going to uni and getting a good degree and going down that line. It shows phenomenal expertise. But if I was hiring someone, I'd look at the person that's built the personal brand and already been able to show their expertise and do what they are going to do for the business that I'm hiring them for. And therefore, the personal brand you've built can leverage that opportunity to get you a new job. Now, moving on to a different point. For example, social media marketing. There are phenomenal speaking opportunities, stage speaking, being able to host guest panels, all of these different things. If you build a personal brand, opportunities arise for those speaking gigs. Building relationships. If you can build a personal brand and become well known for the niche you create content for, you'll be able to begin building relationships with people that you would never have even thought of before. And I'm speaking from first hand here. I've been able to leverage the fact that I've built a following, leverage the fact that I've built an audience, and use that to have conversations with people that I would never have been able to talk to. And to me, that is something that is sort of a byproduct of the fact of building a personal brand, but it's phenomenal because the relationships you've built with people, the people that you connect with, are the people that can potentially take your business and personal growth to that next level that you never thought you'd been able to reach before. The connections really help tie everything together and raise even more opportunities in the future. So that is just the final point I wanted to put there. The people that you can actually connect with when you do build a personal brand, when you do build a following on social media, when you do put all of these things together, is phenomenal. And that alone, in my opinion, is one of the reasons why you should build a personal brand. If you want to try and connect with someone, for example, picture this. You are a small-time creator building a following. You do eventually build that following for the niche you create content for, which allows you to then talk to the top person that you've looked up to in your niche. Because it does. It really, really does. You may not think, obviously, people like Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos, slightly out of my league at the moment. But if I wanted to talk to someone that ran a decent-sized podcast, right now I have a very high chance of being able to connect with this individual. Whereas last year when I had no personal brand, I probably wouldn't have even been able to get near them. So building this audience has opened up that opportunity for connections. And that, to be honest, those 3 points alone are reasons why you should be building a personal brand if you haven't started one already, or you should take this as inspiration to continue building your personal brand. So just to recap, number one, your personal brand cannot be taken away from you no matter the circumstances that may be going on in the world. Number two, a personal brand is far, far more trustworthy than pretty much anything else. People trust people, and that allows you to then leverage the audience you've built to grow a business. Number three, the opportunities that arise from building a personal brand are phenomenal. They can generate job opportunities, speaking opportunities, build connections. Pretty much anything can be possible when you build a personal brand for the niche that you want to be well known in. And that does wrap up today's video. If you did enjoy, I would really appreciate if you hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and turned on post notifications. That way you will never miss a video when I post one. But I did just want to mention that this is a part of my podcast series, Social Media Marketing School, and the audio version of the podcast is the place to be because I release this content a lot sooner over there than I do here on YouTube. So I'll leave some links in the description below. Make sure you are heading down there and subscribing. But if you've got any questions with regards to anything that I've mentioned, please just reach out to me on Instagram at TheMarketingEthan. Send me a DM and I'll make sure I get back to you no matter what. But I did just want to finish off by saying, if you have made it to this point in the video, thank you for tuning in, and I will see you in the next one.